So I guess the big question is, who is going to be the vice presidential candidate for Vice President Kay Harris? Because after all, don't say her name wrong or else you're a Nazi. Well, this is one of the contenders here. This is the governor of Pennsylvania, Shapiro, Governor Shapiro. Well, let's see here. Let's hear the governor rewrite history in real time.
Let me tell you something. That's a hell of a contrast with the guy she's running against, Donald Trump. By the way, did you see? Trump even knows this. You can tell because now he's afraid to debate her. Did you see that?
No, I didn't because it's not true. So, then.
And by the way, he's not just afraid to debate her because he knows she's going to kick his ass in the debate.
I guess then the vice president shouldn't care what the venue is then if she's just going to kick Trump's ass all over the place. Well,
she is a skilled debater. But he's afraid to debate her because he's afraid of his record.
No, he's not.
He's afraid of having to defend a record that has been really dangerous and destructive.
Okay. And the governor is going to tell us what about Donald Trump's record is dangerous and destructive.
Let's examine the record.
Let's.
When Donald Trump was president for 4 years, we all lived in a state of chaos. Y'all remember that? And if you don't remember that, or your friends and neighbors don't remember that, remind them.
Or just make some shit up. That works too. Well, every day we got up in the it was chaos. It was evil. He's a Nazi. Yeah, I don't recall that. I guess you were reading the New York Times and the mainstream media at the time because they kept stirring up shit no matter what. Oh my God, Trump this and Trump that and Russia, and oh my God, collusion and that. Oh yeah, I remember that. But that wasn't Trump though doing that. It was it was the mainstream media, wasn't it? Wow.
He brought chaos to what he did every single day.
Oh,
he brought chaos to our living rooms, chaos to our lives.
No. All due respect, Governor, it wasn't Trump that did that. It was the media who told the people who normally would vote for you, sir, that Trump was evil. He was a Nazi and a Hitler, Russia. He was colluding. He was going to blah, 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 blah. Every night for the last 10 years. Well, not quite the last 10 years, but 4 or 5 years when Donald Trump was running and president. Every day. Doom and gloom. He's the worst thing ever. See, not that he really was. He wasn't the best thing ever. He wasn't the worst thing ever. So let's be clear. Let's be non-biased in our evaluation. What's the interest rate today, Governor? Do you know what the mortgage interest rate is? That's about 7%. What was the mortgage interest rate generally under Donald Trump? Not that the president has much control over that, but hey. If things are good, they take credit for it. If things are bad, they blame someone else. What was the interest rate, mortgage interest rate under Donald Trump's presidency? Anyone? 2.4%. So we got a 3x increase. I'd like to buy a house. I can't afford it. So tell me again. What was that chaos you were referring to?
To look around, wondering every day, what was this guy going to do next? What freedom was he going to rip away? What alliance was he going to break?
Let me guess, Governor. It took you a few minutes, but we're getting around to smorshing. Because that's all you have, isn't it?
What promise wasn't he going to keep? That level of chaos infected this country in negative ways.
Okay. And?
That level of chaos harmed our standing, not just here domestically, but all throughout the world.
Wait. Well, let's see here. We had a successful meeting with the dictator of North Korea, with Putin, Middle East peace. Trump got a deal going there. Huh. No new wars. That doesn't sound like chaos. I like that. I like that a lot. You know, I'd rather not have our young men and women going over into some shithole to get blown up for the military industrial complex. Just saying. I prefer that kind of chaos to what we have today. Know what I'm saying?
And he had a plan when he was president. Now, he wasn't very good at it back then, but he did have a plan, and he was able to deliver on at least one promise.
What was that?
And one promise he made was that he was going to rip away the freedom of millions of women across this country to be able to make decisions over their own bodies.
Well, the president had nothing to do with that. Well, okay. He appointed Supreme Court justices, what have you, right? Just like every other president throughout the entire history of the country. It's part of their job. Go on.
He packed the Supreme Court, and they ripped away our fundamental.
He packed the Supreme Court.
Of millions of women across this country to be able to make decisions over their own bodies. He packed the Supreme Court, and they ripped away our fundamental freedoms.
No. You, sir, you have never in your entire life as a man in the United States have had reproductive rights ever. Ever. And the Supreme Court simply said it's not a federal thing, up to the states. End of the fucking story. But they're going to have to keep beating and beating and beating. Oh my God, packing the Supreme Court. Who is talking about expanding the Supreme Court? If Donald Trump wins, do you think the Democrats are going to come up and say, yeah, that's a great idea? President Trump, go ahead and let's make it 11. Let's make it 13. You think they're going to be for that? With a Republican president? Anyone? Bueller? Oh, no. Oh, no. See, it's only when they have power and they can appoint 4 more radical left-wing communists. Then it's a perfectly good idea, isn't it? You understand? These people are playing these fucking games.
Now, we've got governors like me, Gretchen Whitmer, and other great governors across this country who have fought to defend the right for women to be able to make decisions over their own bodies in our states.
Okay, well, that's all the Supreme Court said. So, Governor Shapiro, you're doing the job that you think your constituents want you to do. Why are these people so afraid of allowing you and other women and men in your state to make up the law on this particular fucking topic? It's democracy with a capital fucking D.
But here in Pennsylvania, even though your right to choose will always be protected so long as I'm your governor,
Well, that's probably true. But the people of Pennsylvania can make a different decision if they want to. I know.
We have witnessed the impact of Donald Trump ripping away the freedoms of millions of women across this country.
Okay. Well, do tell. What is the impact, please?
In Western Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, there are 2 clinics that perform abortions.
Okay. And?
They have been overrun with women coming from Ohio and West Virginia.
Okay.
Especially West Virginia, where women no longer can exercise the right to choose.
Well, the people of West Virginia evidently have made up their minds about this topic. And so women who want to get an abortion can go to Pennsylvania. Not seeing a problem here.
Now, we've made this a safe place for women to come to be able to access full range of reproductive health care. But women in those states have lost their fundamental freedoms. Thank God they live near Pennsylvania.
Or if they're that adamantly for this thing, they can go to their state legislature, elect the people that they think will implement the laws that they want to. It's called, what is that word? Oh, yeah. Democracy. The people. I know.
And make no mistake, if we give Donald Trump the keys to the White House again, he and his running mate will try to pass a national abortion ban. We can't let them, and Kamala Harris won't.
Yeah, Donald Trump said he has no interest in that. It's up to the states. End of story. That's what Donald Trump says. What's the fucking problem? Now, Governor Shapiro, I don't know your background here. I'm sure you're a perfectly capable governor. Are you a lawyer? Let's assume you're a lawyer. What did the Supreme Court say? They said it's not a federal issue. So, according to the Constitution, the only way to make it a federal issue is to pass a constitutional amendment, making it thus and such. So, if this abortion thing is so goddamn important to 38 states, pass the amendment. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah.
But it's not just on rights and freedoms.
Oh.
Let's take a look at what Donald Trump did as president. Fewer people went to work in Pennsylvania when he was president. Sure, he talked a good game.
You mean during COVID? It's probably true.
About bringing back jobs to communities that have been hollowed out. But he failed to deliver every step.
I would tend to actually agree with you here, Governor. Yeah, he didn't do as much as he claims he did.
By the way, there's not one community where he was able to help bring back jobs that he promised.
Not one? That seems like a bit of a stretch, doesn't it? Certainly not all, but certainly more than one. Come on now.
Fewer people went to work. More middle-class folks paid higher taxes.
Is that right?
And costs rose on Donald Trump's watch. Higher taxes. And costs rose on Donald Trump's watch.
I think he says costs rose. Really? Really? What was that? What was that interest rate again? Have you been to Starbucks or Harris Teeter's or whatever you have, Food Lion there in Pennsylvania? Governor, why don't you go see what a pound of coffee costs and compare that to what it cost 4 years ago. Go ahead.
He was a failure when it came to freedom, and he was a failure when it came to the economic progress in this Commonwealth.
Is that right?
Country.
Really?
He worked hard to try and take away your health care. And
excuse me. Governor Shapiro, again, I don't know anything about this guy. I'm sure he's a wonderful guy. All that. Whom was in charge? Who was running the state of Pennsylvania during Donald Trump's administration? Just curious.
Promises to do it again. Think about this for a minute.
Oh, yeah.
1.2 million of our fellow Pennsylvanians get their health care through Obamacare. You can cheer for Obamacare. Obama does care, by the way. So does Biden, and so does Harris.
What is this Southern accent shit that comes up here? You hear that? Listen to it again. I mean, you can say you can say a lot about Donald Trump, and he's an asshole and whatever. He doesn't come out with the fake Southern accent ever. But Democrats are fond of that.
Obama does care, by the way. So does Biden, and so does Harris.
So does Biden, so does Harris. Oh, my God, we're out here in the country talking to the folks. So we got to pretend I got to, there's no ways tired. And I wasn't Hillary Clinton. Hello. You got any hot sauce, Governor? Any hot sauce?
So do Democrats.
Oh, wait, you're not talking to a lot of black people. Is that right? Not trying to, okay.
We care about people's health care. We care about the quality of your health care, and we care about those health care workers that are out there doing those jobs every single day.
Okay, yeah. Again, something we can all agree on, right? There's no disputing, right? Healthcare workers, doctors, nurses, people, emergency technicians. Yeah. Who can argue with that? Of course. Yes, they're hardworking. They're wonderful. We love them. We can all agree on that.
And yet Donald Trump has promised, if he's given the opportunity again, to rip away health care for 1.2 million Pennsylvanians.
Oh, I guess I haven't read that part of the plan. I can't really comment, Governor, because I don't know, but it doesn't sound reasonable to me. It sounds like something you might be pulling out of your ass.
Kamala Harris has a plan to not just protect Obamacare, but to expand access to health care.
Okay. And how are we going to do that?
To do like we're doing here in Pennsylvania, to reduce the cost of prescription drugs and reduce the cost of health care in this Commonwealth.
Great. I'm all for that. Of course, Donald Trump, he just wants to increase, take it away, and make you die and starve in the street.
Listen,
got it.
Gang, we saw what he did before.
What did he do?
He's told us what he wants to do again.
What did he do before? And what evil thing is he going to do again? Please explain it.
Wasn't it Maya Angelou who said when someone tells you who they are?
Christ.
Believe it. He's the first time. That's exactly right.
Listen to the crowd roaring, all 10 of them. It's amazing.
He's told us what he wants to do. And he tried to do it last time.
And what is it exactly he wants to do, though, Governor? Just wondering.
Now, here's where it gets real dangerous.
Ooh.
The last time, when he got in there, he didn't really know what the hell he was doing. He had
interrupted that.
When he got in there, he didn't really know what the hell he was doing.
Okay.
He had dangerous ideas, but he didn't exactly know how to carry them forth. Think about how much more dangerous it is right now.
Oh.
He packed the Supreme Court.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
The Supreme Court of the United States.
You and your ilk literally want to pack the Supreme Court. Expanded by 11 or to up to 13 or whatever. And appoint all of those new justices yourself. I would say that's more indicative of packing the court.
It's just ruled that he is literally above the law. That the laws don't apply to him anymore.
Actually, it was presidents, not just Trump. Go ahead.
The guardrails that protected all of us before from Donald Trump, those guardrails are gone.
And what is Donald Trump going to do then? How is he going to manifest this awesome new freaking power? What's going on in your mind there? What do you imagine Donald Trump's going to do, Governor?
That's dangerous.
Is it? Tell us why.
That should scare the hell out of every single Pennsylvanian, every single American.
Okay, why? Why is that scary? Tell me.
Here's where it gets even more dangerous.
Oh, we're going to get something.
He's told us what he wants to do.
What is exactly he? I can't wait to hear this. We're actually going to add facts and data to the speech.
Y'all go crack open that project.
Oh, God damn. Y'all. I know it seems like a nitpick. A lot of guys are, oh my God, who cares if he says y'all? Because he's not from the South. He's from Pennsylvania, north of the Mason-Dixon line. You know what I'm saying?
He's told us what he wants to do. Y'all go crack open that project 2025.
Oh, you mean the thing he said he wants nothing to do with? You mean that thing? Got it.
That is chock full of some crazy ideas.
I agree with you, Governor.
Dangerous ideas.
I agree with you, Governor. Yes. And Donald Trump has disavowed it, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what words he says or actually what you have him on videotape saying. Nothing matters to these people. Remember the old some nice people, whatever the fuck, for months, for years. Well, some of those people, they were good people. Of course, he meant the Nazis, right? Oh, God.
But ideas that he plans to carry forth if he's given the keys to the White House again.
No. Nope. It doesn't matter what Trump says, though. It doesn't matter what we say. This is how it should be, and thus and such, and thou shalt be done. Donald Trump, Plan 25. It's a bunch of Nazis over there at the Heritage Foundation. Oh, my God.
Ideas that are going to ripple.
I think the Heritage Foundation is actually... this might... Oh, hamster, why are you like that? I don't know. I'm just that way. They're trying to torpedo Trump. They don't like him either. Okay? Let's just cut the bullshit and go right for the mustard. Lord Black Eagle, Tom Laundry, Riggs. James is here. Aren't we having fun yet? Oh, my God, yes.
Away more of your fundamental freedoms.
Oh,
Ideas where he is going to use the Department of Justice to attack people who don't think like him.
Remember, they will accuse you of doing the things they are, in fact, doing.
Use the police and the military not to defend our rights, but to undermine our fundamental rights.
Is that right? How so?
Gang, this is scary.
Gang?
Our fundamental rights. Gang, this is scary. An unhinged former president with no guardrails thanks to the Supreme Court and a blueprint that he literally wrote down.
He literally said, I don't want anything to do with Project 2025. He said it. His own words. Okay. Well, at least we have the vector of attack here. We've got that understood. Go ahead, Governor. Sorry.
Of the dangerous and destructive things he wants to do for this nation.
Yes. Garrett Grant is in the building. Holy shit. Hello, Garrett. Howdy. Long time no see. Chaos for you. Oh, my God. Did you hear? Chaos. Did you hear earlier? He said, oh, my God, Donald Trump is full of chaos. Oh, my God.
That's scary.
It is to you because it means you're going to lose power. And that's the scariest fucking thing as a communist that you can think of. Governor, all due respect.
But I got to tell you something. I'm not down. I'm not worried. I'm optimistic. My glass is half full, and I'll tell you why. Because of Kamala Harris and all of you.
You know, I wasn't going to drink any more beer, but I think I'm sorry, Governor. Go.
See, I'm optimistic because I've seen the Great Spirit of Pennsylvanians. And you all the epicenter of this battle. You all have been battle tested. And you've been battle tested for 248 years.
God.
I want you to think about it. And listen, Rick, these pillars in here could probably tell these stories that I'm about to tell. 248 years ago, patriots just a few miles from here in Philadelphia.
Just a few miles.
They gathered in our taverns, in our town squares, and they sought a better future for people here. They sought a place where they would be free from kings, and instead they would be able to determine.
Yeah. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, and Syrah is good wine too.
Their own futures. A place of self-determination.
Yeah.
And a place of real freedom.
Fucking A.
A place where people could band together and determine their future course. They gathered in town halls and town squares. And they taught us a lesson. A lesson that we as Pennsylvanians and Americans have understood for generations since then. Over the last 2.5 centuries. At every step in our American story, we've gotten better. We've gotten stronger. We've given the right to vote to women.
Oh, yeah. Yes, we did. Remember, let's not be held up by the burdens of the past.
We've respected all people, no matter where they come from and what they look like.
Yeah.
Everyone can marry who they love today in America.
Yeah. Good. Cool. Again, not too many people are going to disagree with that. Yeah, sure.
The progress that we have made in this nation, it's not always been made by people with titles next to their name. Or people who occupy offices. Instead, the progress that we have made has been made by ordinary Americans rising up, demanding more, seeking justice, looking out for a brighter future for them and their neighbors. That is the Pennsylvania way, and we are now being called upon again to do this work.
Oh, God.
To fight for real.
You know he's a fucking communist. Nobody uses the phrasing, we've got to do the work. That's the change agents. That's the communist. Who the fuck says that? We've got to do the work. God, you just got to sit and listen. Comes out eventually. Matty Ice is here. Hello, Matty. Good to see you. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, you're a dumbass fool to get married. And Lord Black Eagle hits a home run, as always. Yes, sir. Even if you're gay, why would you get married? Who cares? Why would you do that?
Freedom to stand up for
what. But yeah, from a religious standpoint, marriage is between a man and a woman. From a civil, legal standpoint, which means nothing. And well, God doesn't condone that. But, you know, from the law, yes, men can get married, women, marry whatever you want. Doesn't matter. And I don't care. I mean, frankly, I'm 60 years old. I don't give a shit. I'm on my way out, right? I've got maybe, God bless me if I get 20 more years, and then fuck it. I won't care anymore, right? So it's up to the young people to figure this shit out. And I'm just, I would love to come back here in 200 years and see what the hell happened.
It is right to elect Kamala Harris as our next president.
Yeah.
When folks gathered in those taverns and bars and on those town squares, and as they gathered today on TikTok and online, don't all laugh at TikTok. That's an important place to gather. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Emily, there you go. But when they gathered, there was an authenticity to who they were and who we are today. And I'll tell you who we're not.
Who aren't we?
We are not who Donald Trump wants to say we are. This guy every single day goes out and attacks America.
Really? That's a tall claim there, sir, Governor. Are you going to back that up with some facts? No?
He goes out every day and insults us, picks people apart, tries to create others amongst us. That is not who we are.
Excuse me.
It's not who we've been, and it's not who.
Excuse me. Again, who is the party that tries to separate everyone into little groups? Certainly isn't Donald Trump. Go on.
Who Donald Trump wants to say we are. This guy every single day goes out and attacks America. He goes out every day and insults us, picks people apart, tries to create others amongst us. That is not who we are. It's not who we've been, and it's not who we want to be. This guy, I mean, literally, I've seen him do this. It's the weirdest thing. He'll go and like literally hug an American flag.
Okay. Kind of cheesy, but yeah.
I love the flag, but I mean, it's like weird what he does, right? And while he's hugging the American flag, he's devising plans to tear it up and to take away our freedoms. We know that well here in Carlisle, Rick. He pronounces to care about freedom. Well, let me tell you something. It's not freedom to tell our kids what books they're allowed to read. That's not
God.
freedom.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Here we go. Oh, my God in heaven.
Pronounces to care about freedom. Well, let me tell you something. It's not freedom to tell our kids what books they're allowed to read. That's not freedom.
And as far as I know, Donald Trump was out of office and out of power when all of this kind of shit exploded a couple, 3 years ago. I know. Facts. Actual data. Actuality.
Trump claims to care about freedom, but let me tell you something. It ain't freedom to tell people they're not allowed to join a union here in Pennsylvania and all across America. You should be able to join a union.
Okay. I don't recall Trump advocating that women that people can't join a union. I don't. I have to dig into the archives and try to find the anti-union Trump. Okay, that's a new one. When he keeps praising the United Auto Workers, Teamsters, all of these unions. I know.
It's not freedom to tell women what they're allowed to do with their bodies. That's not freedom. It's not freedom to tell two people who are in love who they're allowed to marry. I say love is love.
Oh, God almighty.
And it sure as hell isn't freedom to say you can go vote, but he's going to pick the winner. That's not freedom.
What the fuck are you talking about, Governor? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, bro.
And it sure as hell isn't freedom to say you can go vote, but he's going to pick the winner.
I can't. Again, I know he's speaking English, and I can understand his words, but I don't know what is he talking about?
That's not freedom.
I don't.
And that is not who we are.
Oh, okay.
We support something called real freedom. Exactly what Kamala Harris has been fighting for her whole career.
Come on, say it. Say it. Democracy. Do it.
Real freedom where we invest in that young child because we believe in our children. We make sure they've got great public schools to go to. That is real freedom.
And how long have we had shitty schools and not one person in the government has done anything about it? For decades. Now this time we're going to do it. This time, elect Vice President Harris, and we're going to fix it. Sure.
Real freedom where we invest in police and we invest in our community groups because we want that child to walk to and from school safely every day and return to his mama at the end of the night.
Again, no one can disagree.
Real freedom where that child grows up and gets a union apprenticeship and goes to be a welder because we know working with your hands is some respectful that we need to honor in this country.
Yeah, here's the problem, though. Excuse me. Governor, all due respect, yes. Yeah, get a union job, be an apprentice, learn how to fit pipes, whatever. But we've got to have places for these kids to go and work. We've got to have the jobs, don't we?
Real freedom where you live in a beautiful community where you can worship where you want and marry who you love and live the way you want in real freedom, the kind of real freedom that Kamala Harris is fighting for.
We already have that, so.
Every day. This, my friends, this is an election about real freedom, an election with clear contrast, and an election that now falls in your hands. As it's fallen in the hands of patriots for the last 248 years, beginning right here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. The task falls to all of you to organize, to mobilize, to get out in the streets, to preach about freedom, to talk about Kamala, to sing the praises of Janelle, and make some more history in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Thank you all. God bless you. Let us
God,
get
there's
to
at least
work.
12 people there.
You.
Holy shit.
Thank you, everybody.
Wow.
All right, listening there to Pennsylvania's Governor Josh Shapiro headlining that event earlier. Former president on live Vantage Point. We do want to step away.
Let's see here. I guess this is Fox Live now. I don't know who this is, but somebody.
Specific.
So let's.
I'm the mayor of this city. Welcome to St. Paul.
Oh God. Amy
I'm not just
Klobuchar.
standing on this stage with a bunch of other elected officials. I'm standing on this stage with my team.
I don't know who this is, but
because you know I tell everybody I can, Governor. What's even more important than
that's
who
not
your
the governor. That's
mayor is.
That's Amy.
What's even more important than who your lieutenant governor and governor and
That's senator
and Congress member is how your mayor, your lieutenant governor, your attorney general, your congressional delegation, your governor are all working together on your behalf.
Yep.
And look, I've been mayor during times when the White House was not on that team.
Okay.
I've been mayor during times when the White House felt like it was on a different team, fighting for something else, fighting for somebody else.
I'm not sure who this man is. He's the mayor of something. Minneapolis or St. Paul.
Not the folks who work hard in St. Paul. Not the students who are trying to figure out how to get ahead in St. Paul. Not the grandparents who just want to live with dignity in their own neighborhood. And I've gotten a chance to be the mayor with an administration that has been our friend, that has been our partner, that is called to check on us, that is called to make sure we have the resources we need. And that's the kind I prefer.
Grinchy. Howdy.
I have to tell you, I have really appreciated my president's leadership these past few years.
Right.
And as I think about all of the things that I appreciate most, it's not just the policy, it's not just the investments, it's not just the bold thing that you say when you say, not only am I not betting against the American people, I'm betting on the American people, I'm betting with the American people, I'm betting for the American people. But if he didn't make it clear before, he's made it clear now. There's something more important to Joe Biden than Joe Biden, and that's the United States of America.
All right. He sounds convicted. You know, he's got some heart going on here. I like that.
One incredible mark of leadership is what happens when you walk out the door. And he has left us with an incredible candidate, an incredible standard bearer, an incredible next president, and our Vice President, Kamala Harris.
Yay! Yay! Again, we got another 12 people.
Minnesota, and we're going to win this race.
Wing it.
But let me tell you this.
All right, we were listening there to Minnesota Democrats earlier today. They were rallying for Vice President Kamala Harris, but you do see on your screen that Trump's vice presidential pick, J.D. Vance, has just stepped up to the stage. I do want to go ahead and take that feed for you live.
Okay,
now,
goody.
Let's listen to what they have to say ahead.
You're hear what the
of
Nazis
former
have to
president
say.
Speaking.
Yeah. It's Grinch. You're evil, you son of. Wing it. All white men should sit out the election. Yeah. Then we get Harris. So there you go. Here we go. Bring on the Nazis. Yeah. Where's your hood, bro? Where's your white hood? Come on now.
Wow.
Oh, wait. This is in St. Cloud, Minnesota. USA. They're in the land of 10,000 lakes. My God, man. Hello.
It is great to be in St. Cloud, Minnesota. God bless you guys. Wow. First, let me start.
Well, I mean, Grinch, then, don't vote for her. Then it's easy enough.
Start on a somber note, if I can. I want to open my remarks with a word about the horrific rocket attack in northern Israel that killed at least 11 people, teenagers and children as young as 10 years old. We heard about this just earlier today. Of course, it's absolutely shocking, and it's a reminder of what happens when Donald J. Trump is not president of the United States. It makes the whole world weaker and more chaotic.
Yeah, somebody bombed a soccer field in northern Israel. Don't know if you heard this story or not, but killed about 15 kids.
Now, no nation should or can tolerate this terrible stuff. And I know this audience stands with Israel and stands with our friends. Let's get President Trump back in office and get this war over with.
Yeah. Let's make a deal. Let's make a deal. Get it figured out.
And when Donald J. Trump is president again, the days of moral equivocation on this issue and so many others will be over. We got to finish the job and get this thing over with. Now, I want to talk about what's going on in this country. And of course, all of us learned the hard way over the last week and a half, if you didn't already know it, that Joe Biden cannot do the job as president of the United States.
Yep.
In fact, exactly 1 month ago, President Trump wiped the floor with Joe Biden on the debate stage, exposing a massive cover-up of that president's moral and mental incapacity. And he saved this country from 4 more years of one of the worst presidents in American history. So let's thank President Trump for getting rid of Joe Biden once and for all.
Zechariah is here. Hello. Hello, Zach. Welcome. USA. Huh?
Thank you. And during that same time, President Trump accepted our party's nomination with overwhelming support. We held one of the most successful conventions in history, and he even took a bullet for the country that he loves and didn't miss a single day of work. Just imagine what he's going to do with 4 more years.
Exactly, wing it. I would say that's probably going to be the October surprise. So, Vice President Harris will become President Harris. Interesting times we live in, isn't it, boys?
Now, we've got some of our friends in the media back there. And after they deserve it. After covering up Joe Biden's mental incapacity and incompetence for 3.5 years, now the media is at it again. For 3.5 years, my friends, they told us that Joe Biden was Abraham Lincoln. And now the media tells us that Kamala Harris is Martin Luther King Jr. Can you believe it?
Saints, Kamala. Yep.
But we all know she's not MLK, just as Joe Biden was not Abraham Lincoln. We know that she is a card-carrying member of the San Francisco Lunatic Fringe. Ain't that right?
Oh, yeah.
And America is not going to be fooled by the media's lies anymore.
Well, half of America is. Half the country is.
Now, everybody knows that Kamala Harris owns every failure of the ultra-liberal policies of the last 4 years. As America's border czar, and she was the border czar, the media all said it.
Now
Kamala
they say
Harris
she wasn't.
Is directly responsible for the worst border crisis in this nation's history. On her watch, more than 10 million illegal aliens have invaded our country, and it wasn't by accident, it was by design.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Creating this flood of illegal immigration is the purpose of the ultra-liberal immigration policies. They said they were going to do it, and then they did it on Kamala Harris's first day in office. They suspended deportations. They stopped building Donald Trump's border wall. They reinstated catch and release, and they proposed amnesty for millions of illegal aliens. On the first moment, from the moment go, Kamala Harris and the Democrats sent engraved invitations to millions of illegal immigrations around the world.
Now, Governor Shapiro, in the previous video clip, was talking about union jobs and all that stuff. Who do you think is taking these jobs? Because they're cheaper. Anyone?
And now they're here because they were invited.
It's okay, Kevin. You could just go back in time, baby. It's here. It's on the YouTube.
Invited by
oh
our
my
own
God!
Borders are. Can you believe it?
Mm.
Now,
Just move the scroll button back. It's fine.
now the chief
We'll be here.
of Border Patrol was appointed over a year ago, but Border Czar Kamala Harris hasn't even spoken a single word to him.
Of course
This administration handed 3 million work permits to illegal immigrants, destroying American jobs and crushing American wages. And if the border czar wins, she will not only give jobs to illegal aliens, she's talking about giving them free health care, free tuition, all paid for at your expense.
Oh, they're already getting that, though. Yeah, just go to Texas. All you got to do is go to Texas. So, Governor Shapiro, whom are getting these good jobs? Is it the Pennsylvanian who did the apprenticeship at the union shop, or is it somebody who gets paid a third of what that man or woman is going to get paid? Do we not see the problem here? Of course not. Nope.
I agree. Worst of all,
But
Kamala Harris would happily erode every protection we have to prevent them from voting. She wants to hand over control of our country to people who shouldn't be here in the first place, and we cannot let her.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a message, a very simple message to the millions of illegal aliens who are in this country and shouldn't be. If you are here, start packing your bags right now, because Donald J. Trump is coming back into office.
Oh no, he's evil. Oh my God. No, that's not going to happen, but yeah. He's obviously a Nazi. I mean, wouldn't it be good if we just can fix our own shit and then we can invite more people to come in and say, hey, we got it good here. We got it all figured out. Wouldn't it be nice? Yeah. Take care of our own people first.
Now,
I know.
What bothers me most about Kamala Harris's liberal policies is that she pretends that they're compassionate, but they hurt the least fortunate members of the American family. It is what the Bible calls the least of these that suffer the most under Kamala Harris's policies. Now, I know this, my friends, because
especially the ones that never even get a chance to get more. Oh my God. Look at this Nazi over there.
I myself grew up in a poor family. I was one of those kids who suffered under Democrat misrule. And I know that if we let these guys gain power, it's going to be people who grew up like I did that suffer the most. Now, a lot of you know my story. You know that things worked out for me. I was able to achieve the American dream because this is a great country that gives opportunities to people, and we got to make sure it stays that way.
God, there's actually women in the background there. Oh my God, stop it. No way. Oh, they're not the single cat ladies, though.
Of course, from the incredible bounty of this country. I also benefited from a very tough grandmother who raised me because my own mom struggled with addiction. And I'll tell you, there are a lot of things that keep kids on the straight and narrow, but one, for me, was a grandmother who told me when she found out that I was hanging out with a local drug dealer, JD, if I ever see you with that kid again, I'm going to run him over with my car.
Wingett says, NAFTA, GATT, ship the jobs out of the country because we're all about a service economy here in the United States. Thank you, Bill Clinton. All righty. We don't need to make stuff here. Hell no.
And then she added, and nobody will ever find out about it. And I believed her.
She's probably
and
right.
I came from that background, my friends, and I stand before you as your next vice president of the United States. I love this country.
Here we go.
But if we want to preserve that American dream for the next generation, if we want to build upon it, then we have got to win this election. We have got to bring the people's president back. That's President Donald J. Trump. And we're going to do everything we can to get him elected in November. And we're going to do it together. We're going to turn Minnesota red. We're going to turn this whole country red with President Donald J. Trump's leadership.
Or even back to the middle somewhere. Be good. Some states are just lost.
And we're going to do it not just because we want to beat the Democrats, as fun as that will be, but because the American people depend on President Trump's leadership. And the clock is ticking, my friends. In 6 months, we are going to launch the largest deportation program in the history of this country.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Minnesota, I don't think they've gone for a Republican president since 72. Maybe Richard Nixon. They were the only state, by the way, in 1984 to not vote for Reagan. Minnesota's pretty fucking deep blue, guys. I don't think Trump has much of a chance there.
We're going to end catch and release and ban sanctuary cities, and then we're going to finally finish building that beautiful border wall.
There you go. Yeah, you're not going to deport 30 million people. It's not going to happen. So
right.
Again, the president and the vice president are not kings. If they want to deport all these people, they have to get it through Congress and make it legal. It's not going to happen. And I'm not so sure it should happen. Let's be honest. I know, a hamster, but I mean, my God, we could work this out. But I think we need to stop the flow, the inflow. Stop that. Then we'll figure out what we can do with the folks that are here. We got to stop all these millions of people coming in. Day one. Top job, boys. Stop that. And then let's take a breath and see what the hell we can do. Okay? But we're not going to deport all these people. It's just not going to happen.
Now, we know Kamala Harris is not going to do this. She was ranked as the most extreme liberal in the United States Senate based on her voting record. And my friends.
Yeah, Lord Black Eagle, you have a point. It's very simple. You take away the honey and the bees will go away, or the flies will go away, right? They won't come here anymore if we make it the law. For example, I'm just going crazy here. I'm not saying this should be the case, but let's just do a hypothetical. Let's just say that if a company employs an illegal alien in this country, they're fined $1 million a day that person is employed by the company. Or some crazy shit. I'm not advocating. I'm just saying. Just making stuff up here. If they made it so painful to employ illegal aliens, the honey would go away. See what I'm saying? That's all. That's just not advocating, just saying. But we're not going to deport 30 million people. It's not going to happen. So it's a good talking point, I guess. I don't know. It's not going to happen. Give us real solutions here. Stop the flow of people coming in. Start deporting the criminals, say people who have been accused or convicted of crimes that are not here legally. Throw them, get them out of here. There are a lot of hardworking people here that are here illegally. Okay, we're not going to throw them out. It's not going to happen. Go ahead.
I serve with some pretty crazy liberals, and she was ranked ahead of all of them. She co-sponsored. She co-sponsored the Green New Scam, and she supports every insane environmental policy that's going to...
It's possible, Charles. I think it might have been Poland. But yeah, you take away the honey, and they're not going to come. It's just that simple.
To drive American workers out of business.
And even better, can't we do something with Mexico, right? Can't we develop the vast resources, the wonderful people in Mexico? Can't we do something to get jobs into Mexico so the folks that live there can make a living? I think there's a solution somewhere. I can smell it. I think we can do something. Yeah?
Drive the price of gasoline through the roof and drive Americans further into poverty. She is 100% responsible for the inflation disaster that is destroying American families. And under President Trump, we had a booming economy with no inflation. Wages were going up and people were saving and young people were buying homes. Let's get back to that prosperity.
Yep. Mortgage interest rates 3 times what they were under Trump. 3x. Young people can't buy houses. I'm an old guy. I can't buy a fucking house. And I make a lot of fucking money. It's insanity. Currently. Go on.
We're going to fight for your ability to afford housing, education, healthcare, groceries. We want normal Americans to be able to afford a decent life in their own country. It sounds so simple.
You're right, Charles. You're right. China is doing that in Mexico. We should not let them do that. We should be doing that. The United States ought to be doing more and more and more in Mexico. So there are jobs in Mexico, so the people of Mexico can fucking work and live their lives in their own country. Because I bet a lot of people want to do that. They can't. Currently. You know why? Anyone? Because it's fucking a socialist country.
But it's got to happen. And one of the ways we're going to do it is drill, baby, drill. Get that stuff out of the ground. Get it from our own people. Get it from our own workers and not from tin pot dictators all over the world.
You do remember day one, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they canceled the pipeline. The one from Canada? I can't remember what it's called. Keystone? Canceled it. Because, oh my God, climate change and the carbon and all. Oh my God. No. It has nothing to do with that. The Democrat Communist Party hates the oil companies because they make money. I know. And making the cost of oil go up around the world, it's not only the Saudis that are being enriched by high oil prices. You know, high oil prices. All. You know who else is getting enriched by high oil prices? Vladimir Putin. Just saying.
Now, some of this stuff, you read what Kamala Harris has said, and it's hard to believe.
Strange bedfellow.
She wants to abolish ICE, legalizing squatting, and open the door for rapists, felons, terrorists, and murderers to vote. She also supports defunding the police. She opposes putting more cops in the street because she believes that police are a greater threat than the bloodthirsty criminals they lock up. And maybe they are a greater threat to her, but to hardworking American citizens, they are our protectors, and we back the blue in this country.
Yep. Oh, did you hear those Just Stop Oil fucking idiots got tossed in jail over in England? Yeah. I mean, I understand their sentiment. Yes, we have to reduce fossil fuels and all that. But you can't do it immediately, people. It's not possible. Okay. Maybe over the next 100 years, we can reduce down to the point where we're not killing the planet or whatever. Okay, good. Fine. But it's not going to happen in 5 years. That's ridiculous. Sorry. That's ridiculous.
Now, she wants to end cash bail, and what that...
Well, yeah. Here's the thing, Charles Darwin. They want oil prices to be high. They, meaning the communists, because the higher the price of oil, the more attractive the electric cars are. Do you see my point? So they want to keep oil high. So eventually it's economically, well, it's still going to be fucking expensive, but it'll be less expensive to get their beautiful, wonderful electrical cars. No one's talking about how we're going to build the infrastructure to power the goddamn cars, but don't worry about that. It'll just work out all right.
That means is that if you assault a police officer, you can be back on the street the very next day. In fact, when rioters and...
Oh, that's right. All the just oil type folks, they just think those chargers, they just magically create electricity. They magically create the electrons that flow into your car so you can drive for 100 miles till you have to charge it again. Yes, they are that ignorant. Go on.
Looters were burning American cities to the ground, including Minneapolis. Kamala Harris was raising money to bail them out of jail. Let's throw them in jail and support the cops. It's hard to believe, but it's true. She helped a group of anti-cop extremists raise more than $40 million to free scores of criminals right here in Minnesota. That's not across the country. That's just here in Minnesota. And I think in November, Minnesota is going to send her a message. They've had enough of Kamala Harris's garbage. They'd like to have a real president.
Yeah. Electric cars. Oh my God. I mean, allow me to pontificate. Oh, it is your stream, isn't it, Hamster? Yes. If you live in a big city, say New York City, London, Washington, Chicago to some degree, an electric car with 100 miles range kind of makes some sense because you're not really going to drive 100 miles a day. But for people who have to, you live in, Nebraska or Wyoming or somewhere. That's Vice President Harris has probably never been to Montana. It takes, or Texas, it takes you like 14 hours to drive from Texarkana to El Paso. You'd have to stop, 3-4 times, 5 times to charge your car up. So, I mean, it makes sense in some circumstances, but the greenie weenies, they think it should apply in all circumstances because they all live in London and New York. Well, why do you need a car? I could just take the subway. In Lincoln, Nebraska, there is no subway. And if you drive west of Lincoln, you have to go several hundred miles till you get to North Platte. You got to stop 3 times to charge your car up. I mean, come on, people. So I don't disagree with the technology. I think they're doing great things. But it's not applicable to all. Okay? Go on.
You can't make it up. Some of the criminals freed by Kamala include a convicted rapist, a knife murderer, a domestic abuser, who later shot and killed a man while he was out on bail. It's so sad.
It is, yeah.
Thanks to Kamala Harris, Minnesota neighborhoods have filled and will fill with violent criminals. President Trump, you know what he did? He put them behind bars where they belong.
Oh, wing it. Trust me, I'm sure you've probably kept up with the news. I think California is floating a mileage tax for the electric cars because they don't burn gas, so they can't tax them that way. You see what I'm saying? Well, I think you.
And
Yeah, your AC in Texas. Yeah, your card run out about 50 miles.
Guns from law-abiding citizens. So,
oh yeah, of course.
The criminals get to have all the guns they want, but hardworking Americans get nothing to protect themselves. That is a recipe for disaster, and we're not going to let it happen.
Tribe of Men posted a meme, a picture of Nicolas Cage with the big eyeballs. I'm not sure which, but it's something like, if you make abortion illegal, women are going to get illegal abortions, and something like, yeah. And when you make guns illegal, Just curious.
She wants to make us sitting ducks in our own country. That's the policy that Kamala Harris has pursued, and we are not going to let that happen. We are going to vote in big numbers in November, and we're going to take this country back, right?
Just can't win. Ba-ba-ba-da-da. Yep. Yes, sir. Thank you, Charles, for the comment.
We're going to save this country for Americans of every race, color, and creed. We're going to do it the hard way. We're going to do it because this country is worth saving. We're going to do it by fighting through the media lies, and we're going to do it by electing Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. Now, maybe the worst and most dishonest thing that Kamala Harris has done, and it is a long list, my friends, is that she helped cover up Joe Biden's declining mental capacity for years. It's actually sad. Putin, Xi, Kim Jong-un, all these dictators, they have been sitting in private rooms for 3.5 years, licking their chops because we have a president who can't actually do the job. Now, anyone who's too blind to see Biden's incompetence or too dishonest to admit it is not fit to serve as commander-in-chief. She lied to us. She lied to all of us, and it's unacceptable. And you know, they never give President Trump an easy path. Kamala Harris, the Democratic elites are trying to install her as their new nominee without her receiving a single vote for president. The media, our friends back there, they call it a coronation. I think there's another word. I call it a coup. In America, we do not crown our leaders, we vote for them. Democrat or Republican, you gotta give the voters a choice. But if there's one thing we've learned about Kamala Harris, is that she has a hard time winning votes because she's too extreme even for the Democrat Party. Remember, in the 2020 primary, Harris dropped out months before they even cast the first vote. She was so unpopular, she polled in the low single digits among Democrats the entire campaign. She wasn't even the top 3 in her home state of California, and that is pretty embarrassing, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason is because Democrats know that the American people would never elect a San Francisco liberal who's so far outside the mainstream. Now,
why don't they just call him a communist? That's what they are.
We've got to give some credit to our Democrat friends because they were right in 2020. The American people are never going to elect a wacky, out-of-touch San Francisco liberal like Kamala Harris. Now, I saw the other day Kamala Harris question my loyalty to this country. That's the word she used, loyalty. And it's an interesting word, simplify, loyalty, because there is no greater sign of disloyalty to this country than what Kamala Harris has done at our southern border. And I'd like to ask the Vice President, what has she done to question my loyalty to this country? I served in the United States Marine Corps. I went to Iraq for this country.
Willie, you're
built a business for this country. And my running mate took a bullet for this country. So my question to Kamala Harris is, what the hell have you done to question our loyalty to the United States of America?
That was pretty good. Let's go. Let's do that again.
For this country than what Kamala Harris has done at our southern border. And I'd like to ask the Vice President, what has she done to question my loyalty to this country? I served in the United States Marine Corps. I went to Iraq for this country. I built a business for this country. And my running mate took a bullet for this country. So my question to Kamala Harris is, what the hell have you done to question our loyalty to the United States of America?
Amen, brother. That's a good one. That's a good short. Beautiful.
And the answer, my friends, is nothing. So let's send a message to the media. Let's send a message to Kamala Harris. Let's send a message to every hardworking patriot from Minnesota across the country. We are ready to have President Donald J. Trump back, and we're going to work our tails off to make sure it happens. God bless you all. Thank you. And thank you for having me, Minnesota, a great state.
Now we get some Trump going on there. That was good. Might have to make that a short.
There to Trump's vice president any moment at 8 way at way.
Let's get to the Trumpster.
Minnesota, former President Donald Trump set to speak any moment now. We're going to carry it for you.
Germany is not better. We're only. I don't know. I think Germany is pretty. It seems decent from here, anyway. You know, good people. You know, solid. I don't know what your government's like in Germany. I'm sure it's like governments everywhere else. Fucked up. It's just the way it is here. It seems.
As soon as it gets underway. In the meantime, on
Democrats in that vote are
blah 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 blah.
Size some caution.
Blah 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 blah.
The top of the next hour.
Okay. Let me see if I can find this here. There's a Nazi right here.
It's old, weird, and over. That's what happens today.
Oh,
it's over. There's nothing new.
I'm sorry. This is not the Nazi. This is our savior. It's Governor Walz from Minnesota.
Nothing new. And you've heard me say this about this. They went out, you know, because he's a TV guy. They go out and try and do this central casting dude. Oh, we'll get this guy who wrote a book, Hillbilly Elegy, you know, because all my hillbilly relatives went to Yale and became, you know, venture capitalists. That's exactly where they went. But he got this guy who's going to come out, the two of them, to tell us what we need in Minnesota. A state that feeds our kids. A state that gives women reproductive rights to make their own health decisions.
God, okay, there we go.
A state that says you love whoever you want to love.
Yeah.
A state that invests in the future and tackles the hardest problems. And they're going to come and tell us. And I said with J.D. Vance missed the golden rule. Those of you small town people in here know this. The only way a small town can work is if you follow the golden rule. Mind your own damn business. mind your own.
Yeah. Well, people who are elected to, high office, senators, presidents, it's their business because they're running the country. So
Damn business. And that is what everybody said. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to mind our own damn business by knocking on doors. We're going to mind our own damn business by getting our neighbors to get out to vote. We're going to.
Excuse me, Governor. Isn't that the opposite of minding your own business? Why are you going to bother your neighbors? Maybe they don't want to talk to you. Have you thought about that?
And that is what everybody said.
Do you live in Minnesota? Do you?
So you know what we're going to do? We're going to mind our own damn business by knocking on doors. We're going
Exact opposite of minding your own business.
to mind our own damn business by getting our neighbors to get out to vote.
We're
going to mind our own damn business of making the case to America. You know what a President Harris presidency looks like?
Yeah, tell us.
And a Senate with Chairman Klobuchar and a House.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, God. Makes me wish for Al Franken to come back. Oh, you just hate women. No. I just don't like Klobuchar.
With Chairwoman McCollum.
She could be an idiot.
Speaker Hortman and Leader Murphy here. You know what it looks like?
It looks like communism.
Because these Minnesota legislators taught America.
MGTOW Smurf is here. Oh, my God, the Smurf. Hello. A lot of immigrants went to France, the country shaped like a boot.
Listen,
okay.
You don't win elections
Italy?
to bank political capital for the next election.
Oh,
you get it to burn it.
The loss of a child
let's get
at the hands of
some
terror
Trump here.
children. No drills that took. And I.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, the
And
FBI
former
finally
president does usually do this, so wait for the whole song to play out. Let's pump up the audio and listen in.
Excuse me. The FBI finally admitted that Trump did actually get shot. I don't know if you heard that. Oh, yeah. The media was saying, wow, he wasn't really shot. It was the teleprompter. Who gives a shit? Who cares if it was a shard of glass from the teleprompter or a bullet? The guy was almost murdered. Jesus. Oh, God, help us. All right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Merkel did that to you guys in Germany. I know. And Poland and Hungary have said, nah, we're not doing that anymore. So take care of the Poles, take care of the Hungarians first, and then we'll talk about other people. Seems fair to me. So I know. Makes me a Nazi, I guess.
Wow. I don't know. Tom, you better bring this home. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. Tom Emmer, great guy. We're going to bring this home. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank our next Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance. And I especially want to thank the great state of Minnesota.
Old movie fan. Live from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Before we begin, I want to condemn the evil attack on Israel that took place earlier today. A missile launched by Hezbollah killed at least a dozen children, young children. And they were playing, as you heard, on a soccer field in Israeli territory on the Golan Heights, a place that I recognized during my administration as under Israel's sovereignty. It was a big thing. I've been trying to get it done for 72 years. I got it done in about 1 hour. The savage Hezbollah terrorists struck these children with an Iranian precision missile. Dozens more were wounded in the attack, and sadly, the death toll is probably going to go very substantially higher. Our hearts go out to the families of these innocent children. No parent should have to suffer the terrible loss of a child at the hands of terrorists or anybody else. Today's attack on Israel cannot be forgotten, and it will go down as another moment in history created by a weak and ineffective United States president and vice president. They wouldn't have done this if I were the president. They wouldn't have done it. And they didn't. With time, this situation will only get worse for our country with the kind of leadership that we have right now, which is no leadership. It's probably worse than no leadership. It's negative. It's negative leadership. It must galvanize Republicans, Democrats, independents, conservatives, progressives, libertarians, and everybody else to put strength, respect, and power back into the USA where it belongs.
Yep.
This attack, just like the attack on October 7th or the Ukraine-Russia war, think of it, nor would country-busting inflation. You know, inflation is destroying our country. None of it would have happened. It would have never happened if we were president. It wouldn't have happened. It's a dangerous and terrible time for the world.
Okay. I must politely disagree with the president a little bit here. Somebody was handing out free money, a lot of free money during the coup. Now, it might have been mostly Joe Biden, not sure. But somebody was handing out big fat checks. What happens when you print money and you hand it out to people? It's called inflation, isn't it? Just saying.
And it's almost the entire fault of incompetent Biden-Harris administration.
Well, I'm sorry, Hamster, you're not an economist. You don't know anything. Well, I do remember a couple things from my economics class that I took in college. Oh, my God. Supply and demand. When the demand exceeds supply, the price goes up. You hand out thousands and millions of dollars in free cash. People want to buy stuff. Thus, the demand increases. And the supply goes down because of shipping, all that stuff. I know. What are you, some weirdo? You don't understand? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I'm just a stupid engineer. What do I know? Go ahead, President Trump.
She who says that she wasn't the border czar. She wasn't the border czar for 3 years. She was the border czar. She let it be known, I am the border czar. Then she never went to the border.
Thank you, Shrapnel. Yes.
She's terrible. She's
no, I'm not. I'm no economist, but I spent the night at Holiday Inn Express or whatever. Yeah. I don't know. You print free money and you give it out to people. Might be something happening there. What do I know?
She's worse than he is, I'll tell you right now. I want to be nice. They all say, I think he's changed. I think he's changed since 2 weeks ago. Something affected him. No, I haven't changed. Maybe I've gotten worse, actually, because I get angry.
Actually, I still have my Trump check. Remember that? I think that was part of the coup where we got this. Here's a big check for you. Yeah, mine was $1.43. I didn't even bother to go to the bank. I still have it here somewhere. I'll have to show you a picture of that.
At the incompetence that I witness every single day, the way millions of people are pouring into our.
Why is that, Hamster? Because you make a lot of money? Yes. I busted my ass for decades. And yes, I do make a lot of money. So that was why my check was $1.43.
And that's the thing that must change. And it must change quickly. It's great to be back in this beautiful state without
$350 million. Charles, we spend $350 million. We borrow, I should say, $350 million in the United States about every hour. I know. It's hard to believe. It's crazy. It's crazy talk.
Thousands of proud,
$350 billion. Yeah, that's about a day. Oh, not quite a day, but it's certainly a month of borrowing. 350 times 12, 3.6 trillion. Yeah, that's about right. It's about right.
Working American patriots.
Or 12 times, whatever.
As you know,
Something.
6 days ago, we officially defeated the worst president in the history of the United States, crooked Joe Biden. Have you heard of him? Have you heard of him?
MGTOW, outlaw. Oh, my God. We got all the best people. My God. How's Alabama tonight, sir? Are you going to stream later? Can I get drunk and join? It'd be fun.
He was badly beaten, and everybody went to him and said, Joe, you can't win. You can't win. He said, no,
I haven't got a motorcycle yet, no. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Trump sent out one stimulus check. Joe sent two. Yep. I never got one from Joe Biden, I guess. I'm just one of those evil rich people. Oh, yeah. I'm so fucking rich. Oh, my God. You don't even want to know.
Debate him, please. That didn't work out too well either. That was the end. The debate was the end. You can't beat him, Joe. Now we just beat you, Joe. You're going to lose. You got to get out. We want to get out. You got to get out, Joe. There was nothing nice about what they were doing. It wasn't.
I want $100,000. Charles Darwin, you are an evil son of a gun, you.
Democracy, was it? It wasn't democracy. They were saying, we want you out of the race, Joe, and we want you out here. You're going to lose. These are quotes from some of the fake news. Look at all the fake news back there. Wow.
Now, here's where I have to agree that you ever watch Lionel Nation? He's an interesting character, really interesting to listen to. He's what you would expect, right? New York lawyer type guy, right? And he is saying, and I tend to agree with him, Donald Trump shouldn't be saying anything except what will win votes for him. Now, I know this is Trump's style's like, hey, let's talk about shit and kind of wing it. Okay. I understand that. But talking about Joe Biden, who gives a fuck? It's done. It's over. Nobody cares anymore. The candidate, the opposition, is Vice President Harris. So whatever the fuck they did to Joe Biden, they fucked him. We get it. Bernie bros are really pissed off. Okay, got it. Go on and tell us what you're going to do. What are the plans? Tell me about that. I don't care about Joe Biden. He's, hopefully he'll live a long time, having fun, with his grandkids and whatever in Delaware. Good for him. God bless him, right? He's done. He's not the topic anymore. Why are we talking about him? We should be talking about Vice President Harris because she is the opponent. She is going to be the candidate. But I digress.
That's a lot of fake news, man.
Yep.
That's a lot of fake news, Mike. Joe, you're going to lose. We want to put somebody else in. And then I realized last night I was
Charles
speaking to
Darwin.
a great
What are you
group
saying?
of people, Christians,
you're evil.
all Christians, and they've been horribly treated by this administration. Today I spoke to Bitcoin crypto. So I went from Christians to Bitcoin, and now I'm with you in Minnesota. We cover a lot of territory. Think of that.
That's true.
So Christians to Bitcoin to Minnesota. We cover a lot of territory.
I mean, this guy is almost 80 years old, and he's going nonstop, like 18 hours a day. That's pretty amazing. I mean, even the opposition's got to go, oh my God, what the fuck is this guy on? And he's not on anything, but he should maybe take some caffeine, before these speeches. Get a little zipped up. You know what I mean?
And I never mess it up by saying, let me tell you about Bitcoin. I don't do that, no. Remember Biden, of course, I don't want to talk too much about him, but when he was in Iowa, and he said, it's great to be in Idaho. No, If I ever did that once, it would be the end. They'd say
That's
the
true.
end. He's cognitively impaired.
That's true.
That would be the end. The fake news would go crazy. But I thought last night, as I was speaking to this incredible group of evangelicals and a lot of others of faith, it's, oh, you like that, don't you, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Shrapnel. I mean, he's like, he's the Energizer Trump. It's like, wow, where do you get this energy? Where do you get this? Yeah. Now, Trump could legitimately say in Minnesota, "Here I am. I'm thankful to be here in Kazakhstan," and it wouldn't be wrong to. Oh my God. Kazakhstan with a nice stadium up there in Bloomington.
That means our country's coming a long way because you put faith back, you put religion back into our country. It's going to be a much
Yeah, I hear
better
you, Riggs.
place.
Yeah. I don't like to pay that much attention, but I think it's important. Because now we got to change
it's sort of unfair. You have a guy, he says he's great, he's president and all that stuff. They rigged the election, but we won't talk about that. And they say he's president. So he comes out, and he comes out raring
wing
to
it.
go.
How could you?
And he gets badly beaten. He's losing, and all of a sudden he's like a fighter. He's losing.
Banging
Then they took
hooas.
him out of the fight, and they put a new fighter. We have a new victim now.
Tony,
Kamala.
she was a
We have a
hooah.
new victim. We have a brand new victim. And honestly, she's a radical left lunatic. And she is, when you find out about her, all I have to say is
Murtaugh.
defund
Kevin,
the police. That was
Murtaugh.
her big thing. Let's defund the police.
Murtaugh. Irish black guy.
And as I often say, politicians don't change.
Great movie, by
Whatever
the way.
they say first, that's where they are. They don't change. Wouldn't you say that, Tom? Whatever they say, if they said 5 years ago, 8 years ago, defund the police, she said it like 2 years ago or 3 years ago. But so if that's what they say, that's ultimately where they want to go. But this was really a coup and by the Democrats. This was a coup of a man that had 14 million votes. He wanted to run. They wouldn't let him run. They treated him horribly. They said to him, we can do it the nice way.
And we're still talking about Biden. Okay.
Or we can do it the hard way. To Joe, he's president. This was a coup with the presidency. They threatened him with the 25th Amendment. They said, Joe, we're going to threaten you with a thing called the 25th Amendment. You're cognitively and physically a mess. And if you don't get out, we're going to take you out with the 25th Amendment. And he said, I'll go. And then the fake news said, oh, he was so brave. He was so brave. No, he was forced to leave.
Nobody cares.
So now we have a new candidate to defeat the most
Where is the
incompetent,
lie?
unpopular, and far left vice president in America.
Oh, he's not lying.
Probably the most.
I just think it's
far
irrelevant.
left
Nobody,
person
it doesn't matter
in
anymore.
American
He's gone.
history. Less than 4 months from now, Minnesota is going to defeat Kamala Harris.
Well, that's not going to happen.
And remember what I said a short time ago. A short time ago, she strongly fought for many, many bad things. But to me, I love the police. We're not defunding them. We're going to fund them. Fund them. We're going to overfund them. She's just thinking. She's defund the police, and I'm overfund the police. We're going to overfund. We're going to evict this radical and incompetent administration from the White House, and together we are going to make America great again.
That'd be nice, wing it. Yeah. Maybe that's coming. I don't know.
With your vote this election, inflation will stop. The illegal aliens will be turned back.
Now we're talking.
Cartels
Here we go.
will be in retreat. Crime will fall. Energy prices will plummet. Incomes will soar. And a world in chaos will rapidly be transformed into a planet of peace.
Oh,
And very importantly, and you don't hear this anymore, the words you don't hear under the Trump administration, the American dream will come roaring back bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. The American dream will come back, right? But if a crazy liberal, and she's
see this chick in the background. She's having a good night. She's having a good time.
Look, she was a failure.
And there's a Minnesota 10 there, you know. Hey.
At every stop. She was a failed vice president. She was
they
a
grow those farm
horrible
girls big up in Minnesota.
district attorney. She
Know what I'm
destroyed
saying?
San Francisco. She was a
They're
liberal
tough.
from the. She was there before all the guys that you're currently reading about, right? If a crazy liberal like Kamala Harris gets in, the American dream is dead. I believe it's dead. I believe it's dead. Over the past 3.5 years, Border Czar Harris, which is what she called herself, even the New York Times today, they took an article out of the New York Times, Border Czar. Now, you know,
Chicken in every
deleting
pot.
everything
Yeah,
that
exactly.
says these people back
Car
there
in
are
every
deleting
garage.
everything.
Yeah.
But we already
Standard
have it.
politician bullshit. Yes, I know.
You know, 3 months ago, she was thought of so badly they were just killing her. And now
Yeah, yeah, Charles Darwin, I guess from Australia. I think Trump can have influence in the world. He's obviously not going to solve all the world's problems. I think that's impossible for anyone. But, you know, at this point, we got to get our own shit together in the United States. Get everything working correctly. Not all this crazy bullshit, inflation, all this stuff. And then we can, once we get our own shit fixed, we can start talking about the rest of the world. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, no man can fix the entire world. It's not going to happen.
She's in this position. They're trying to make her into a, let's say, Margaret Thatcher. I don't think so. It's not going to happen. Margaret Thatcher didn't laugh like that, did she? Did she laugh? If she did, she wouldn't have been Margaret Thatcher. It's very simple, right? Border Czar Harris allowed almost 20 million illegal aliens to
Red
stampede
meat.
into our country.
Throw it out there.
If she gets another 4 years, it'll be 40 to 50 million more people in our country, and they'll be using Medicare and Social Security. They will be gone. They'll be wiped out. They'll
Exactly,
be destroyed.
Charles.
There
Yep.
won't be a thing your government can do.
Take care of your
about
own
it.
shit before you worry
She
about the
will
rest of the
kill
world. Yeah.
Social
Yep.
Security and Medicare. As Vice President, Kamala Harris cast the tie-breaking votes that created the worst inflation in half a century. I believe the worst inflation that we've ever had. You know, they don't use the real numbers. They don't use the numbers that are really, really bad, but they're bad enough to have the worst just about that anybody can ever even think of or remember, decimating working families. And if she wins, inflation will only get worse. It's going to get worse. Already energy and gasoline are going up. You see what's happening? More and more per gallon.
Oh yeah. I was at the beer store a couple of hours ago, and Dak was talking about what, $1.75 per liter in Canada, per gallon in the U.S. The high test, the premium, $3.79 a gallon here in Missouri. So divide that by 4. Yeah, it's not cheap anywhere. I'm
And
telling
we
you.
had it down to $1.87.
More expensive in Canada,
We
though.
actually had it lower than that for a period of time.
$1.75 times 4.
A Kamala Harris presidency means 4 more years of extremism, weakness, failure, chaos, and probably World War III. I really believe it. They have no, that's why this happened today in Israel. Shocking that it happened out of nowhere. A Trump victory will bring back leadership, competence, common sense, and strength to the Oval Office. That's what we had. We had no wars. We had no wars. Think of it.
Yep, Riggs, you're right.
We had no wars. Remember when crooked Hillary Clinton used to say, he's going to get us into a war. Look at him. Look at his rhetoric. I said, no, my rhetoric's going to keep us out of wars. That's what happened. We had no wars. They didn't think about it. Putin would have never got in. Iran was broke. I told China, if you buy 1 barrel of oil from Iran, you're not doing any more business in the United States. And they didn't buy any. They didn't buy any.
Yep.
And we would have had to deal with Iran within 1 week after the election if the election didn't take that horrible turn. You know, we got millions more votes the second time than we did the first time. The New York Times asked me, what happened the second time? I said, the second time we got like 10 million more votes, right? Oh, I never thought of that. The reporter said, oh, yeah, you're right, actually. Let's go to another question. But let's review Kamala's insanely liberal record. As a senator, she was ranked the #1 most radical left Democrat in the entire Senate. They say she made Bernie Sanders look like a moderate. He was unhappy with that today, did you see? He said, oh, no, I think I might have been more liberal than her. They were fighting over who's more liberal. If this country has a liberal president, this country is finished, okay? Just so you know. And she's weak liberal. Just a few years ago, Kamala Harris co-sponsored Bernie Sanders' $32 trillion. You know what that means? That means file for bankruptcy as you're signing the legislation. Everything is gone. Your taxes will go up by 4 or 5 times, and it still won't be nearly enough. $32 trillion socialist takeover of the entire...
Now, I know you guys are smart, but let's go over it again. What is 32 trillion? What does that mean? It's so huge, really, it's hard to get a handle on. What the fuck does that mean? So let's walk through it, right? $1 million is $1 million. $1 billion is 1,000 million. Okay, billion is 1,000 million. A trillion is 1,000 billion. 32 trillion is 32,000 billion. 32 million. That's a lot of fucking hooch, bros. Oh my God.
Entire U.S. healthcare system. She endorsed outlawing private health insurance entirely. Many people have private health insurance. It's phenomenal. If they work hard and they make a little money, they want to have great health insurance. She wanted it outlawed. She supported giving free taxpayer-funded health care to all illegal aliens. Come on in. Come on in. No, but just think of it. Everybody that comes into our country, including from prisons, mental institutions, insane asylums, you know, they go crazy when I mention Dr. Hannibal Lecter. You know who that was? They say, why does he keep mentioning Hannibal Lecter? Well, you see, he was a slightly troubled patient in an insane asylum. And he'd love to have you for dinner, you right there. He'd love to have you for dinner. But I mentioned him because we have people like that coming into our country. They're closing their insane asylums all over the world. They're sending their criminals into the United States. Venezuelan crime is down 72%. Because they're sending their criminals and their drug dealers and their prisoners to the United States. And next year, I think, instead of being here, which is a great place, I love this place, we'll go to Venezuela.
I mean, yeah. I mean, most of us in our lifetime, we might earn $1 million, $1.5 million, right? You know, if you take all the money we ever make, like working and shit. So take that times 32 million. 32 million times our entire lifetime. Oh boy. Yeah.
Or someplace in South America where
that's
they've
a lot of
sent all their
money
criminals
and a
us.
lot of cocaine and
Because we'll
hookers
have a
for
nice,
rigs.
Safe event. We can go to Venezuela next year where the crime dropped 72%, and we're going to have a nice, safe event because in Minnesota, you will have lots of people that you don't have now, although many of them are here now. They're just sort of getting used to it. You'll have people from their jails and from their mental institutions in Minnesota. So we'll go to a nice, safe location. She co-sponsored the $100 trillion Green New scam to abolish oil, coal, and natural gas. She pledged to ban fracking. No fracking. Oh, that's going to do well in Pennsylvania, isn't it? Remember Pennsylvania? I said it.
Yeah, 690 million years. Yeah, that's about right. Oh.
She wants no fracking. She's on tape. The beautiful thing about modern technology is when you say something, you're screwed if it's bad.
Yes,
if you
sir.
say it wrong, you're screwed.
I'm here.
She said, I never said about fracking. Then we play about 90 tapes. You know, there will be no fracking. We will defund the police, she says. I have to be very careful when I say that, because if I say we will defund the police, imitating her, they'll put me on television tonight saying Donald Trump wants to defund the police. Right? Got to be very careful, Tom. Sarcasm doesn't work when you have a crooked press. You know, when I imitated him, because Biden, and I don't want to waste a lot of time, because it's over now, right? He's gone. I told you he would be. I told you he wasn't going to make it.
Thank you.
I told you. In the debate, and they called for the debate. They wanted it early. I said, okay, I accepted every rule. Everyone said, why did you do that? I mean, you accepted CNN, you accepted fake Tapper, you accepted all of these things. Why did you do that? So I said, because it's the only way, because they thought I wouldn't do it. So I said yes, and they were shocked. But we had the debate, right? And he kept saying, like, they'd say Jake Tapper, fake Tapper. But I have to tell you, they were very fair. In my opinion, they were very fair. 95%. You can't ask for, I was shocked. They gained a whole level of respect. I really mean it. CNN and both of them, they gained a level of respect, right? Don't you think so?
Yeah.
I do. I told them that.
I think they did all right. They did a pretty good job. Yeah.
But I never saw a debate like this. So, you know, we're given a certain period of time and I'm running. I got to talk very fast because there's so many things to say. My mind is rushing. Boom, and I hit it right on the button.
Oh, my God.
But they kept saying,
he's a Nazi.
So you have 92 seconds left. What? You have 92 seconds left. And I said, I'll take it. They said, no, you're not allowed to. You have 92 seconds. And he was like, oh, next question. So you have 38 seconds remaining. What? Oh. So we got off to a good start. But from the time of the...
We're listening here to former President Donald Trump speaking in St. Cloud, Minnesota. We do have to step away for our final commercial break of the hour. We head back.
All right, I'll wrap it up here, but that was fun. That was a good time. So Eric Zombro, by the way, has been tearing up Las Vegas. He's an evil son of a bitch. So I might put together a slideshow of all the pictures he sent me. Guys, he can text like no other. He's probably sent me 75 texts with pictures and shit. So maybe I'll do that tonight. We'll see. All right, boys. See you later. Thanks for coming by. Hit the like and sub and all that other shit. All right. Bye-bye. Have a good night. See you.